So some time ago I needed to learn quite a lot of anatomy. And I thought it's very interesting opportunity to actually check my science-based method compared to method which most of people use to memorize information. And to do this, I did a quick test. I categorized information into a section which I will learn from this method and section which I will learn from method which most of people use. They were exactly the same number of information, exactly the same amount of time. It's very important. I set a timer to do this experiment, and guess what? With my method, I could memorize 77% of information. But with a method which most of people use, I could memorize just 33% of information. So as you can see, the success rate was 133% higher in a method which consists my science-based techniques. So how it really works? Before I will explain my method, you need to know how memorization works actually for a human's brain. In 200,000 years of human history, we could memorize basically two kinds of information. One was all emotional states. Our brain created these emotional states to make us better in survival, and because of this, because of the fact that we could increase our survival rate by feeling emotions, we actually remember informations which are correlated to feeling emotions much more successfully than informations which are completely basic. I'm sure you don't know the constellation of clouds just maybe 2 weeks ago, but I'm also certain that you remember, for example, your first kiss or whatever, any emotional situations. And this is a shield which our brain made to make information which are important for our survival to stuck in our brains in potential to use them in future. And the second thing which we could remember as human race very easily was places. Yes, because when you were a person who couldn't absolutely remember any road, any places, anything which is around your environment, you could actually get lost quite easily. And imagine getting lost 100,000 years ago. It would be a disaster and you would most probably die. So our brain created a special mechanism, and my method used both of these scientific facts to improve memorization. So my method used places, emotions and order. Let me explain. So maybe you heard about method of palace of memory. It's not exactly my method, but I borrowed many aspects from this method to do my own, and let me explain how it really works. So first thing which you need to do, you need to imagine some place you know really well. So it can be your house, it can be a house of your grandparents or your family or even your school. It just need to be a place which you know quite well. And then you need to imagine in your head that you are going in this building and you are trying to imagine different situations and different things in different parts of this building. Let me explain on an example. For example, let's imagine that you are in your house, you are in your bedroom. I will use my bedroom in my head because obviously I know how it looks. And most importantly, you imagine everything in the right order. Our brain hate mess. We hate when anything is in a different place, when nothing comes from the other thing and everything is just in complete disaster. We hate this, so we need to make our memories and our things which we are going to remember in a right order. So use a clockwise method. For example, from an entrance, you try to imagine your things in an order of a clockwise. So the first thing will be on your left, then going to the clockwise around your room, and you go out. It's as easy as that. I needed to remember visual canal, spike hole and round hole, of course in a right direction. And these are just three things which I needed to remember. And I made this in basically less than a minute. The first one will be visual canal. And I try to imagine this canal, which ships are going through, like a Panama Canal or some canal on the Red Sea. And ships are going through this, and when you do a trip around your bedroom, you fell off because of this channel, you don't notice it and fell off, and your head stuck exactly in a round hole in your floor. It maybe took me 20 seconds to imagine this all information and to came out with these ideas, and I already remembered two things in a right order. Because when I said the order is important, I also made order in things which I want to remember. So I'm memorizing from this place to this. Then I try to go out from this round hole and I put my hands in front of me and try to pull my head out. But unfortunately, my hands meet with a hole another hole with spikes, and I'm in pain, the blood is going out, and everything is absolutely not right. So, what I just did, I used 30 seconds to remember these three informations, and probably I remember them much better than if I would read this over and over and again. And I'm not even mentioning the fact that it took me much shorter amount of time than a person who would read this over and over again. Look, everything is in the right order because I put all situations in a clockwise. Everything is connected with some emotions because I made it so absurd. Also, there is some violence which I did on myself, like, yes, it's so crazy. Also, it's quite funny. So I used all techniques which our brain used to memorize information into one. And also, it is all connected with my bedroom, so I can associate the situation with one place. I hope this short video will be very helpful for you. Thank you for watching, subscribe because we are still in the beginning of your YouTube journey, like and comment because you cannot even imagine how much it helps me. Thank you.